Who's the most rudest person you've ever met whilst being on tour in the music industry?
Oh no, I willingly can answer this. I can willingly answer this. The only word that I knew, which was like alarm bells, was policia. And I was like, okay, well, I had to run to a poster and literally point at it and go, me. Oh my gosh, okay.
Drink.
I think I need to drink. Just everything felt brand new, and I felt like it was really important to like reintroduce myself to people that may, I don't know, have like a solid opinion or thought process, or like this is what I expect from her.
Everyone, welcome back to Lizzie One-to-One. Please don't forget to subscribe. After all, it is free and you're helping me. That's what it's about. Give a little.
Bless you, lovely.
So yeah, today it looks like we're doing a cooking show, but we're not. The amazing CallMeUnique is joining me in my podcast. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's like a pleasure to welcome you into my kitchen.
I was just saying, she's literally just giving me a tour, weren't you, of the house?
Yeah.
I was just looking, I love your mirrors. I'm not just saying it, your mirrors are nice.
I was like swiftly trying to make sure that you didn't see like crazy stuff, so yeah.
If I ever randomly end up going to your house and taking one of your mirrors, okay, just if the one's missing, you know it's enough. Me.
There's definitely enough.
Talking about you're a lady of somewhere, you've done so much, and I always say, I always say you're quite gifted. And I remember, I always have this vivid memory of when I first saw you. And I always tell people, heard of you before, and I always tell them the story so they understand how good you are. Like, oh, no way. So you actually used to be part of the LG Arena. It was like a forum, it was called. Like a
Yeah, I was one of the performers that they used to have basically before like the main artist. So I can't remember whether you saw me for the Beyonce, the Rihanna one, or the Jessie J one, or the Nicki Minaj one. I
could afford Jessie J tickets, so they were. I mean, Beyonce's a bit, you know. I was just a teenager. Come on, I was doing what I could have shopped on. I remember being in the queue, and I saw a few artists. No disrespect to them, but they didn't really grab my attention. And when you came on the stage, I was just, you had my full attention, I was hypnotised.
Yeah, you know what I'm square root of 69 is answer.
This is when you had, I'm sure you had, I don't know if it was white.
Yeah, I had white hair. I think I had white hair. I've definitely gone through different phases, but I realised that foundation is not good for white hair. Like I was like, I can see myself on myself. I'm imprinting myself on myself. Yeah, every time someone would hug me, I'm just like, yeah, I have whatever you have going on. Like if you've had a sandwich, it's there. If you've got like some really nice lipstick, it's right there. So that's like, yeah, the white hair.
That reminds me of going out and you wear a white outfit and then someone spills drink on you. Like, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've moved on from that, and now you do like the unique experience, which is huge, and you've been doing that for a while now. How long have you been doing this, and how did it come about? Tell people.
Wow, I think it came from me doing enough gigs with Digbeth Dining Club to a point where I realised that it kind of has to have its own name. It was like, I'm here so prominently, and people are now calling me Mama Roo, which again is cool, but like they don't have a clue that outside of Mama Roo, there's something. So the unique experience came from someone actually describing the night, and I went, you know what, that works. Yeah, let's call it that. And it's always been from the events that have basically it's always been a combination of like the musical family. I know you know like quite a lot of people that I'm connected to, and a lot of people have also been on your show. And there's so many of them that I really wanted to kind of test the waters with like really experimental versions of performances. So for example, Maddie Saskia covering my song, covering D's song, me covering Maddie's and D's, and Jay basically like covering ours back. So it was like literally like 3 artists covering each other's music, because I realized that not a lot of literally like up and coming artists cover each other's material, to like a full theme night, to literally having like verses happening right now. everything. We've had topless men just running around without us knowing that.
Where was I for that? What about women?
It did.
Yeah,
It was. That is why COVID needs to end, just for those things. But yeah, I'm really honoured and thankful that DEC have kind of taken me as part of the family, and I'm really thankful that I'm able to like bring more artists and creatives into that space, because Mama Roo is amazing. The whole Dick with Dining Club experience is just, if you're just going for the food alone, it's worth it. So yeah.
It's funny because again, you were the first person I saw when I ever came to that venue. And I'm sure it was a unique experience you're putting on for that, and the energy. I think so, yeah. The energy you brought to that stage, and everyone was just enjoying themselves.
I really appreciate it. I mean, I have so many friends that literally, like, by the time I get there and I'm exhausted, but by the time I've left, like, I'm like, I feel like we could do 3 or 4 more of these. Like, I don't know how, like, being around such great people and creating just brings so much high energy. So yeah, it's a family experience. I'm really honored that, like, it's a coincidence that my name is unique, but it's also like an amazing thing for me to be able to be like, I don't know, the mama connecting all the kids.
Keeping everyone together.
Connecting. Yeah.
It's interesting because obviously you've been BBC Sound of 2019, which is again a huge thing, a nice compliment. And it's evidence to the work that you do and the work you put in. And your voice again, you've been on Sofa, isn't it? Sofa Birmingham.
Yeah.
So how did that come about? Did they contact you, or was it through people you know?
It was a combination. My publishers have kind of always been pitching me to certain bits and pieces way before I actually knew what was going on. So sometimes I'd just be like, "Hey, is this you?" Because I don't know this thing. But I also think that like the BBC have really always been kind of keeping an eye on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And I think because I'm making waves in different spaces, I think it's like, even if it wasn't based on like being a representative of Birmingham, I think the reason why that kind of came about was just the combination of the publishers doing incredible things behind the scenes, but also people from other countries actually saying like, how can I get this music, and the BBC actually picking up on it going, wait, that's one of ours. Yeah.
How come I find myself there, laid back, no fear, no sense of being beat? How can I easily fall to my feet when words get caught in the trees? How come I find myself?
You've worked with people like Monkey, he's like across.
Yeah, this is my brother. This is my brother.
I mean, the streams he has, let alone on the one track, it was like million.
It is insane. It is insane.
So how did this collaboration come again? Because you're someone who's always, I don't say networking, because you obviously just get on with people and connect with them.
Sometimes.
Not everyone. Fuck the others.
But I was being played by the BBC, and Monkey Neck and the manager who he had at the time was listening, and Target and Trevor Nelson were like, she's gonna be big, she's gonna do big things, blah 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 blah. Like,
Trevor Nelson.
Check her out. Yeah, like super lovely guy. Like I have to make sure to big up Target as well. He's been there from day one, making sure that any opportunity that he can bring my way, like I'm really thankful. And like if it wasn't for those DJs that were literally saying the right things at the exact time where that like producer heard, then it wouldn't have been possible. So I actually didn't realize he was DMing me on Spotify on SoundCloud for ages. I had no idea that such a massive producer was like,
it was like, hey, come on, rude.
Yeah. So he found me on Facebook and he was like, stop ignoring me. And I was like, oh, I did what? Like, I'm so sorry. And he remixed a song of mine and sent me a private link, and I was like, this is dope music, this is amazing. And because I took so long actually producing like the vocals for him, he said, look, just come where I am. Like, I'll fly you out here. And that's where the whole Budapest and Half Living There kind of came about, like him introducing me to people and saying, come into my world. And yeah, the rest is history.
Check out the music video as well. So have a nice little bop to that. Going down
Definitely.
the streets. But yeah, a new track you've got coming up, 2.0. That's an introduction to yourself. Obviously, I'm guessing it's an evolution of the sounds and who you are. So obviously you can tell us a little bit about that.
Definitely. So 2.0 came from an amazing producer also from Budapest called Rokan, aka DJ 1AB. aka Andrash, aka Karmatic. He's got tons of names, does tons of things, incredible, amazing, virtuoso as far as creativity. And every time I was heading over to Budapest, he would just show me some amazing beats, and I was like, yo, I need to jump on these, like, are these free? And yeah, basically 2.0 came from a conversation we were having, and it ended up accidentally becoming the theme of the whole EP, where it was like, you know, from the first time I came to Budapest to now, I feel like me and me are sat in like separate rooms just going like, oh my God, you're not even the same. And like how much the evolving of like music and sound and connections and professionalism and just everything felt brand new. And I felt like it was really important to like reintroduce myself to people that may, I don't know, have like a solid opinion or thought process, or like, this is what I expect from her performing or as an artist. And I was like, maybe I need to reintroduce myself, and the best means of doing that is touching on many different subjects through one project. So yeah.
This is growth by evolution. Each day you shed skin, and the old one doesn't even know whether it's a conclusion. It's just a never.
Just about like the evolution itself. It's all like how environment has actually changed me. So there's stuff about politics, there's stuff about love, there's stuff about like self-love. There's a lot of environmental things. Like, I'm really aware of what's going on in the world. And I think that they all kind of influenced a really reflective piece of music, like the most self-aware kind of sound that I've actually made so far.
That was interesting as well, because you've had that experience before COVID, and there's a lot of people that are maybe weren't in touch with themselves or nature or social politics, and now that has a chance to get in touch with that. But it's nice to hear that you already had that kind of awakening in a way. But I guess you were always like that. You've always been grounded.
I'm always like, there's three sides to me that most people kind of get. It's like the jokey, like really, really, really banter side. Then there's the super, super spiritual side that like is always talking about crystals and meditation and really being like one with self.
Good.
And then there's the random twerking sometimes that happens that definitely
on your Instagram stories. What was I doing yesterday? Oh, that was it.
Isn't promoted by anyone or anything, but it happens, and that's what happens. But I'm really, 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 really aware that like the timing of it couldn't be any better. I'm not wishing that so much like politics and world-related matters actually happen, but even the producer said that like there was a specific lyric in the song called "The World," which is touching upon like pollution and like the stuff that's going on in the air, and a lot of the stuff to do with like what we're taking in, like the food that we're eating. And there was so many things about like cross-contamination and viruses, and he said like, did you predict something? And I went, you know, sometimes when you're in tune with things as an artist and a creative, you may not realize how much more you are until you reflect on it and go, actually that wasn't just a figure of speech, that's happening, and that's now. So yeah, the Mystic Meg kind of came out a little bit.
I need to read her. I thought to read her. But another track of yours you actually out now, brand new, is Majestic, and that's again about what kind of love? How would you describe the love in that? Because it's a love song.
Yeah, it is a love song. It's actually about being in love with the elements and almost having like a love-hate relationship with the world. Again, I really kind of wanted to take myself out of the like, I'm in love with you as a person, and kind of thought like, okay, I love you the moon, I love you the stars, I love you the streets, I love you. And it was actually a walk home from the studio to home, or home in Budapest, and actually just thinking about how much I was really thankful of life, and just being like, if I could write a love song to everything I can see right now, how would I feel? And with the music video in specific, the director was like, can I twist this? Can I show that like the romance of two people that meet like naturally doesn't always work out as natural? Like the whole things can fade and things can change, and look how swift it went from being like, oh my God, I love you, this is what we're doing, make out moments, and then yeah, we're not there anymore. I don't know how to cut this off.
My head down.
understanding that like I love a lot more than I speak about. So let me talk about it like I love you, universe. As hippie as that sounds.
No, it doesn't, because I feel like, again, like life, what you were saying as well, life can also affect a relationship. Certain elements in life can have its impact, and it makes me laugh when people don't appreciate them. I mean, it controls our currents, for goodness sake, the water levels and all these things that people need to take into consideration. But it's nice to hear, because there's another artist I always feel, but not exactly touched on that, but you know, Florence and Machines. I feel like she's one of these that really sinks into poetry, and you're another person that. Do you ever read any poetry or find yourself?
Yeah, I'm a really, really, really big. I'm a really big fan of George the Poet. Huge fan of George the Poet. I think he's one of the most incredible virtuosos. I think that's where I kind of touch a little bit on like my interest for rap music, because it wasn't my natural forte to be like, hey, I'm gonna rap now, but it was more like, hey, I want to say some words and I don't want it to be misconstrued, so I'm just gonna not have any melody. And I think that that's where like the love for poetry and the love for rap music, or at least like UK hip hop, really kind of shows through. So 100%.
That's an interesting thing you said that, because I was noticing it was a bit more rap based or spoken word infused together. You still got a little bit of the jazz element. You got the beats, future beats that you've always wanted. So how would you say you have changed and shifted in music, and why do you feel like you've gone towards that side this time?
I think I just stopped being afraid of making a song sound aesthetically pleasing to a commercial. Like kind of everyone that I started to listen to really started to break the mold a little bit more. Like there were a lot more alternative groups. I really am thankful for like going on study music and lo-fi stuff on SoundCloud and finding that people have got like some incredible music where it's just them vibing on a song and it not having a set chorus or a verse, or you know, a rapper still being able to be a singer. A lot of an artist called Black, like he does that a lot, where he's midway of singing and then he's just like, no, now I'm gonna rap, and now I'm gonna go back, and now I'm gonna do this. So I think a lot of the artists that I listen to are breaking the mold, and it's allowing me to feel like, you know, actually I shouldn't be ashamed of just wanting to make my lyrics sound like lyrics, instead of being intimidated that I'm stepping into titles of being a rapper when I'm not. Like I just speak.
Yeah, well, people want to break. Well, we're all like having this conversation about labels and everyone wanting to be equal, especially that in the politics in the world today.
Definitely.
So why not feel like you can go into different genres?
Definitely.
Well?
I think there's so many people are collaborating for those exact reasons. Like, hey, let me bring out another side to you, and vice versa. So. Yeah, genres, the whole theory of genres has just been obliterated by this generation. We're like, what is this? This is mine now.
I'm like, wow, my mind is blown. But I was looking at your tweets actually. You're probably like, oh Liz, why are you bringing this up? But it's funny because you were talking about the Birmingham scene and how you bring people together from different backgrounds. And I was reading your BBC West Midlands tweets and how you feel they don't really highlight Birmingham talent as much, and I thought it was quite not brave. I thought it was nice to see someone being so open and talking on behalf of people, because people do feel a little bit like they have to be edited in certain scenes. So what brought you to that? Because I know you actually again thanking Target, because he does a dedicated
he did a dedicated Birmingham special, definitely. At 3:00 in the morning. An artist that I know, definitely not speaking on behalf of themselves, but I'm just going to say it was one example of many, and that conversation pushed me over the edge, because I really do feel like mum in this scene. Like, I know I'm still young, but I do feel like there's so many people that I've been honoured and really thankful to see watch flourish and grow, not just alongside myself, but also literally coming up like after me. So I think that when I listen to the concerns of artists and creatives, and because I am really, hopefully, approachable, where people feel like they can be themselves without thinking, you know what, like, she's done this and I haven't done this, so she's not going to listen to me. Like, people know it's me behind Twitter, people know it's me behind Instagram, and people were often speaking to me with this whole, how did you get to where you were? And how is it that, like, you've jumped over to this side, but actually when I tried to find you locally, I still struggle? Or why can I hear you on radio nationally? And then they also compared themselves. And again, these were conversations that were artists that were mainly from the R&B, the soul, the jazz scene, the UK hip hop scene, less grime, less punk, less rock, less indie. It was more of the urban side of the music. I know, it bungs us all up together and doesn't really like allow there to be like the separate scenes and various things. But you know, the likes of people that sound like the Neighborhood vibe, sometimes the Unique Experience, sometimes the Maddie Saskias, Lean Up Ting. There were artists and creatives that always said like, I find it crazy that I can get played nationally and then there's a reaction to it on a localized level. And it was a concern for me that no one felt confident or comfortable to actually approach this directly because, you know, of fear of there being backlash or any kind of repercussions as to like coming across like they're not grateful for whatever it is. And I know that anyone that hears my tone of voice or the way I come across, they're like, she's passionate, but she's always thankful. Like, we've known each other for years. Yeah. We have known each other for years. And I will always speak to you the same exact way because I know that you didn't need to approach me. But I think that if there was anything that I did, you should feel comfortable enough to say, hey, Unique, stop that. And I should be able to say, you know, I appreciate that because if I am an artist and I'm representing, I think it's an important thing. And I think I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I had another artist tell me, I don't feel supported in this scene. And sometimes all it takes is me listening to somebody else and hearing them say that and go, you know what, I need to at least try and help. Yeah. I need to be vocal about this. I can't come across biased. I've had support from BBC. I've had them play my music. I've had them check out what I'm doing. I can't say that I'm saying this because I feel like this directly. I'm saying this that many other people feel like they can open that gate and say, hey, how can I help? Or the creatives that represent the genres that basically do actually like feel neglected or taken for granted, they can have a spokesperson or a representative to say, hey, these are the kind of artists that are releasing music. This is the kind of stuff that's going on. This is the kind of things that we feel and think, and for real change. Like, not just change for 10 minutes or change for 5 weeks. Real change.
Well, when Vital was on there, I felt like that was probably the only time kind of Birmingham artists were being highlighted, and it's something, again, definitely, that's down to the team, whoever's producing, doing the platforms, and at the end of the day, like you said, knowledge is power. So, you know, definitely, just have that conversation.
I also think that, like, on a good side of things, I can't blame them on a personalized level, because if you're into a kind of music, you're naturally going to be inclined to go to those kind of shows. If you're not naturally inclined to go to a jazz or a soul or an R&B show, you're not going to be exposed to the artists and creatives that are actually releasing that kind of music. So unless you have someone where it's their natural interest to go into those fields, someone's going to work 10 times harder to find out what's going on in comparison to someone that lives and breathes that music.
I mean, they're trying to get a younger audience, so I get it, but at the same time, a lot of the music you're making, I know, being a youth worker, they're listening to your brand, that type of branded music.
Yeah.
Or grime is huge now on the scene. So that's not played enough on West Midlands. So
exactly.
But again, that's another conversation for an hour-long podcast, not
Yeah. Yeah.
But I respect you for doing that, and it'd be nice if, again, not everyone has that confidence, do they? And that's why it's nice to have people like yourself speak on behalf of other people.
I lose nothing, I gain so much more, and more importantly, it's bigger than me. I hope that some more people actually feel comfortable and confident to talk about how they think and feel, because I think that Twitter and all these places make us feel like we can't have our opinion, we can't speak about how we feel, it really has to be professional. But it's like, you're a human being. And I think that if you do want something to change, especially if it affects others, you have to come from that personalized perspective to then hear the straight facts. And he the guys actually did call me and they said, hey, can we have a private conversation about this? I'd love to hear the thoughts and reviews, and I'm really looking forward to helping in whatever way I can, like just contributing in whatever way to see real change, real things actually come.
Well, you can hear that in your music as well. That's why I say go and check out our new tracks. Thank you. To my 2 cameras. I'm like, where are they? Where did I put them? Oh yeah, it's one there. But yeah, I was gonna say, and another thing, once COVID's over, you're definitely someone, and I advise people to go out and watch her live because you won't regret it, and it's not a waste of money. Trust me on that one.
Or apparently come to my kitchen because that's where I'm at.
I'm kind of feeling like you should do a YouTube kitchen show or something, you know.
Definitely.
You've got
watch
the
me
look.
learn more things.
You have the look.
I mean, there's a lot of the Birmingham scene that also come to my house quite a lot, or have come to my house way before the whole world got locked down. The jams at mine have become like a who's who of what's what.
Vital was telling me about this. And I was
Vital.
like, where the hell was mine? But I can't sing, okay? I can't sing. But I can try.
We've had people that are just playing tambourines. We've had people just going, I brought your cat. And I'm like, my cat's already here. Like, I brought him because I wanted to contribute. I'm like, thank you, put him down, enjoy yourself. But like, again, I think there's a lot of people that I know, and I really want more people to connect. What Vital told me is his last 3 collaborations, or at least the ones that he recalled, Winter Black, Simon Jr., and there's another one, I don't know how I'm forgetting this, but also me and Vital's song came from a jam, from me showing him a preview of me and Monkey Next song. So yeah, some of the jams have created the music, and some of the music have created the jams.
That's how it should be.
Yeah,
definitely. Just flows beautifully.
Definitely.
But another thing, we are going to be playing a game in a minute, which I know you're a bit like, oh my gosh, Liz, day of all days.
Frightened. I chose rum. I can't do anything to do with. I can't do anything.
But you've watered it down. I bet you have.
No. This is why I literally, I'm not advertising bottles. This is exactly why I deliberately.
I'm not drinking that, but
I deliberately bought the bottle to prove that it's definitely
what rum's that?
Exactly what it is. It's seed, a gift from a jam.
I'm getting old. I haven't moved that much since lockdown, and my hips are hurting just by grabbing this bottle. What's going on with me? Italian liquor. All right then.
I actually would prefer. I wish we could do like a visual
Imagine.
swap. Yeah, just here you go.
I've got your bottle. That'd be some magic.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing. Come on, Apple, make it happen.
I feel like I'm going to bring the mood down. I'm asking this question before I play the game, but I feel like again it should be highlighted because you're someone that for adversity. Even when I remember watching this interview where you said you were in a hostel, was it?
Yeah.
Was it 40 or 20 other women?
It was 40 other women. It was actually, funnily, in Moseley. So I live in Moseley now, and I am so close to where I used to live that sometimes I pass it and I'm like, whoa. Again, it's a really big revelation to kind of go, that is where I came from. Not all good stories, not all good memories, but you can't forget where you came from. It's one of the reasons why it's really easy to keep me humble.
How did you, I'm going to pour this shot while I ask you, but how did you actually end up coming out of that, and what advice would you give to people that are experiencing that? Because you found music, you said that, I was watching that Switch Radio interview where you found music, and that's how, through other women as well, they inspired some of your lyrics.
Definitely. To have 40 odd women in the same space, literally going through all different types of circumstances, from domestic abuse to homelessness to like, again, really extreme circumstances. There were refugees there. There were like women that were just underage. There were like people that have been adopted and been through the care system. I wasn't one that had so much of an extreme story in comparison, but based on my own circumstances and a few extreme decisions to say, like, I need to be somewhere that's not home.
Yeah.
I need to be somewhere that keeps me safe. The one thing that I'd say is that, or advice I'd give to anyone who's kind of either going through this system or have gone through the system, is to understand that the label that you give that hostile, like the label that you give to yourself being from someone who has lived in a hostel, is something that you give that strength. You know, if you want to embellish the negatives of it and basically make that a part of your journey, no one should judge you. But if you also want to embellish that to make sure that you feel as strong and as empowered and overcoming such difficult circumstances, then that should be something that you should celebrate. I think when I was younger, I used to shy away from it. Like when I'd make a CV, I'd be so afraid of putting that address, going like, someone's going to know that I live in a hostel. What am I going to do if I want to get a job? And they're like, oh, this is what kind of place she lives?
Yeah, you shouldn't have that. But then, it is there though. I feel like that stigma is still there.
Yeah, definitely. And I realized that instead of actually letting people label me as whatever it is, or label that circumstance as, oh, she must have done this, she must have been into, she must have experienced, instead I actually speak really strongly so that it can't be misconstrued. I don't speak of it with a fear or with any kind of, I don't know, I'm not intimidated at saying I lived in a hostel. I lived there for a long time. I got bullied in a hostel. Many of those girls have hilariously, like, as people that I've seen at shows years later, and I'm like, you didn't think I'd make it. You did not want me to be here. So karma and all those things, and actually wishing people like goodness, but you know,
it's real.
Ish happens. Like things happen, and not everything is going to be plain sails and rainbows and unicorns, but like it makes for such an honest conversation with people, and it makes you realize that actually you're much stronger than you think. Like by being in a space that I would say had the feeling or the comparisons of like a prison, like a real life prison, I would honestly say that it gives me more confidence to say to someone like, no matter what you're going through, if you got through this, then you should be proud that you're out at the end of it. Or don't make the place that you're in be that title for you. Don't make yourself feel like you should be ashamed if what you're doing or the reason why you're there is specific to you.
Exactly. So that's what, and everyone will have their own stories, but again, it's what you choose to do after that, what path you choose and how you take it as an influence. So,
definitely. I'm really. I think, again, I really think it's important to be the first of many people that speak about things. So hopefully I'm not the first, or hopefully like the coincidence of me thinking I'm the first
people
causes
can follow,
more people.
Follow on from you.
Exactly.
So yes, after this, sounds bad, doesn't it? We'll have a drink after that.
I'm ready. I'm actually ready.
So
is that a shot? Is that a shot?
Oh, I mean, it's rum, so you will have to do...
It's a large glass. I've got tiny hands.
Well, it's going to be 3 questions, so you have to do 3 of them, just to let you know. So awesome. I apologise. So, for all I know, you're just spontaneously making questions up for me, but do you want me to start then, for you?
Yes.
Yes, all right. I've got my questions here ready for this one. So, this is called Drink or Spill, and it's a game where I like to ask certain questions where I feel like people won't answer them, and it's under their discretion whether they want it. It's not my fault if they end up spilling it. But you can either drink, so that means you don't have to answer, and I'm being fair. So I'm giving you the option. So,
okay.
Number 1. Whilst you were on tour, who has been the rudest person? Like, who's the most rudest person you've ever met whilst being on tour in the music industry? You don't have to. You can either down the shot or you can answer it.
Oh no, I willingly can answer this. I can willingly answer this without fail. Betty Wright, a legendary singer. She is really an absolute legend in soul and jazz, and she's been sampled by legendary artists like Exhibit and Beyonce and various people. I opened for her in Manchester, and I walked over to her and I said, "Thank you so much." Band on the wall. I was like, "Thank you so much for having me in my band. I'm so honored." And I'm not joking. Like the only thing that came out of her mouth was, "Girl, your arms are big." And then she just walked off. And I was like,
what? That's what she said?
Yeah, genuinely. Like I went to say thank you for having me as a support artist.
Betty,
and she just...
Betty, do you know what? You can go fuck yourself. that's what you can... I don't need this kick. See you later.
I was so confused that I had no comeback. I just stood there like looking at my arms going like...
Well, don't get... On top of that, I mean, first of all, that is again body shaming someone, which you're not even. I think you got a beautiful body. Don't worry about your body at all.
Thank you.
But it annoys me that other women as well, when you're trying to move forward, that they're putting other females down. Now, she might have had that throughout her life, so that's all she's ever known. But that doesn't give you a right then to put that onto other people.
I felt very strong after that, though. I felt very strong.
Did you end up crossing the paths again, or was that?
No. And anytime I ever heard anyone say, "Oh my God, this legend, they met her, she's so amazing," and I was just like,
You're like, yeah.
I would just show my guns and then I have no idea why. And I'm like, it's a long story. It's a long story. I'm really strong.
Yeah, she sounds like an absolute lovely person. What a diamond. Right.
Is this my turn?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's your turn.
Yes. I've actually wanted to ask this for so long. So I'm like, this is going to be fun. So, who is your local up-and-coming artist crush?
Oh, God. Oh, drink or spill? I think I'm going to, because I love everyone.
Oh, no. I'm so disappointed. I'm waiting for someone to sit there and be like, is it me?
I don't mix.
You should write in the comments, guys. Yeah.
Been there, done that. Doesn't go well. Advice from Lizzie to you, Auntie Lizzie to you. Oh, okay, right. Okay, this is interesting. I feel like you'll answer this, though, because you're very open. Rank your...
yeah, I am really brave.
With all your tracks, yeah, I know how much you love them. But this is going to determine how much you actually love all of them. So the most recent tracks, rate 4 of them from favourite to least favourite, and why?
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Okay, favourite is a bit more. That's the one that I actually sent you as a private link. It's out very, 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 very soon. Super exclusive.
It's good.
Super exclusive. Like I cry to that song all the time. Second is Set It Nice. I just feel like I'm in summer every single time. Vital, Monkey Neck absolutely did their thing. I'm like super proud of that song. 4. Oh, the 3. Wow, I can't count. No drinking and I can't count. 3.
Saw that previous drinking. It's getting on top of you now.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Drink.
I think I need to drink.
You're like, no, why did I do that? How you get over a hangover?
This is exactly how you get rid of a hangover. You just keep going. Exactly that. So, it's your question, right?
These are all spontaneous again. Just so
it really is. They call me unique for a reason. I definitely wanted to ask this because actually I think that like out of everyone, like if you could replace any artist, as in if you could become them,
okay,
who would it be and where would you leave them? As in, if you had to replace them, you have to put them somewhere. Like they can no longer be an artist, so that means you eradicate all of their existence, but you actually become them.
Oh, who's got the most interest in life? I'd find fascinating. I don't know why Lady Gaga popped in my head.
Wow. You want the meat dress?
I feel like she's so different and out there. I could get away with doing whatever I wanted. I wouldn't be. Oh, well, I guess I would be judged, but I could. Where would I put her?
Where would I put Lady Gaga?
I'd give her like the option to be, normal for a day, we swap, and then just kidnap her and shove her in a crate or something.
Oh wow!
Crate, whatever they call them. I should say Beyonce, shouldn't I? But just look at me. I couldn't get away with being Beyonce.
Actually.
Still one of them. He's like,
hey, if you get rid of them, they have no idea. We have no idea what they look like. So
I want to ask you that question actually. Who would you do that?
Oh wow! See, it's only because I don't enjoy the dancing at all. I would replace Shakira. But I would replace Shakira because I've always found the dancing just not my thing. So
like a bit
every time I'm like, No, I just found the song really, it irked my ears.
The hips don't lie.
Yeah, that song. I heard that so much that I was like, I just wish that I had your exposure and then just that song was eradicated. So, okay, cool.
No, I've got another one. Here we go. Okay, all right. Hold on. This is your final one, isn't it? Yeah. Three. So, yes. I'm doing 3, yeah. Okay, so, can you tell me? I asked this Vital actually, but he.
Oh.
I'm sure he answered it.
I think that means I know it.
He was pretty drunk near the end. I said, what was the worst experience? Have you ever had on tour or experienced anything where someone's been unjust or... Again, you've already said that about... Oh, no, you'll answer that, won't you? But yeah, on tour, have you ever experienced any, I don't know, ill will towards you? Anything?
Yes. I was performing in Poland, actually completely on my own, doing like a 5-day tour, which was actually incredible all across the whole of the smaller cities. And basically there was a place called Jack, like my third favorite place in the whole of the world, like Hungary, the UK and Poland, like without fail. I'm so sorry to the Netherlands, but like it's a close fourth. But basically I was performing and the organizer said to me that I could use like the toilets in the communal space. And I said, yeah, is there any kind of private toilets? I just wanted a mirror. And they said, yeah, you can go over to this place. And this woman who, it's her job to be like the main receptionist / the security. And she thought that I was a random stranger trying to get in and do something. You know, there was a clear language barrier and she was screaming and shouting, no, no, no. And I kept saying, I'm a performer, I'm just going to the bathroom.
Was she singing Fergie? Maybe.
Oh,
no.
I knew the only word that I knew, which was like alarm bells, was Policia. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm. So yeah, she didn't know that I was performing and was going to call the police because I was trying to get to the toilet. I had to run to a poster and literally point at it and go, me. It was the first time that I was like, please know who I am, please.
I mean, you were only going to the toilet and she's going to try and call the police.
So yeah, that was definitely the most offensive. I think she might have thought I was homeless and I needed some money or I don't know. But again, super grateful for the organizers who like apologized 1,000 times. And it shows that if you're going to go to another country, learn the word toilet. It's an international word. You need it every time.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Oh. And my final thing. So what are you the most insecure about people knowing about yourself?
Oh. I try. See, that's an. I could answer that and take a shot.
Oh no!
And I'll answer it.
Oh, nice.
I don't really have any insecurity. Apart from, you know, I think growing up, I've always not liked my nose, but as I got older, I've just become. That's me now. I don't care.
You have a beautiful nose.
I have a right little.
You have a beautiful. Don't ever have anyone question your nose.
Awkward, please.
Oh wow.
But yeah, that's my middle name, I think. Awkward or confused.
Oh wow.
I'm joking.
Oh no. I realise I'm still holding this, so in cheers to you actually drinking the shot but still doing it, I'm gonna.
Imagine if I just did that one. That is a huge one. I'm glad I didn't have to down that.
Oh my god.
But I'll tell you what. I'll down it just in homage for your majestic release.
Cheers to Majestic.
As I take time out, guys, let's just acknowledge. I want you all to drink responsibly. Really think about next time you pick up a bottle. Make sure it's not in the daytime.
No, definitely. Look, watch what we do, but don't follow.
Exactly. Yeah, too many people do that. This is where
you took that shot really well.
Like, that's fine. I don't find it. It's when I mix. That's when you don't want to see me.
Or maybe we do. Maybe this is exactly why we need the exclusives.
Imagine, yeah, just be like Snapchat, just like you doing some
Yeah,
twerking.
yeah.
That's what you just.
What is this?
But you seem
I don't
quite
think
good.
she knows the
You said you were drinking last night. You seem fine. Look at you.
I definitely have been drinking. Cue my amazing friend Malak.
Celebrating that.
Yeah, it's our friendship anniversary, and we thought about going out clearly during this time. So we just did a small little gathering, just me and him. Like, yeah, it was.
This is why I think it's nice to do this sometimes. I don't do this with everyone because, again, some of my people are teetotal. So I do ask.
But Zoom needs to make a way of connecting, so you can just pour a drink directly.
I have my glass as well. Can you clean my glass?
Yeah, just top that up.
I want to say thank
you. Do
you.
the washing up as you're there.
I want to say thank you so much for taking time out. CallMeUnique.
Thank you.
For coming on my podcast. It's been so much fun, and again, I always love talking to you. And I can't wait
to
see you live.
Thank you so much, and I can't wait to invite you for a jam when it's politically correct to do so. And yeah,
you can coach me.
Cat and Turtle, and do a shot in person. That'd be great.
The Serrano, please.
Definitely.
I'll bring my own. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys.
You should come now.
It's not how it works. It's just podcast vibe. I can do whatever I want. I can. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
You too. Make sure you go and check out our new tracks.